Somebody else want to intro it, or do you want me to?
No, it's always you.
All right, let's bring in a song then. What song do you guys want to go with? You want to start with the generic?
Wait, you do the song there? Pascal's not doing the song?
No, so we can hear it.
Oh, come on. That's got to be it right there.
So this comes stock.
Welcome to the Giggle Guys. Who?
And I actually have this timed perfectly with the applause.
This is good.
We have to stop dancing to it.
Let's just be like 7 minutes of us just listening to this.
You actually had a pretty nice voice there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, wow, the recording is spectacular. Oh, that's John.
I got it nailed, but they all end at the same time.
That was fantastic.
I used to put that on loop and just listen to that.
That
Anyway,
stock music is terrific, actually.
comes stock on the road. Can we use it? I don't know. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, those are typically
If it's stock music, go for it.
free use,
Yeah, I'd hope so.
royalty free.
Anyway, this is the Giggle Guys in the podcast garage.
We're going with the Giggle Guys.
Giggle Guys.
Comment below if you like the Giggle Guys. There's the name.
I think you have to say it, though, because
I like the way you
you
say-
have the hard G's.
The way, yeah, it
what do
really
you mean?
is.
What do you mean my G's
So
are
we
hard?
say like Giggle Guys.
Giggle.
And
Yeah, you enunciate.
Giggle Guys.
It's okay. Giggle Guys. Welcome to the
Good.
I also have a little bit of a stutter, so it's perfect. Just throw a third G in there. Why not?
Yeah, I
It'd be a
love it.
fourth. It'd be a fourth G. Anyway, welcome to the Giggle Guys. I'm John.
I'm Mark.
I'm Brenden. And let's talk about this week. Announced we got
Big news.
I'm actually really excited about this.
SNL 50th year. It's going to be a reunion coming with Ringo Starr, obviously the most important of the Beatles, coming back with his boy John Lennon. John Lennon back,
Yep.
exhuming his body.
Or Paul McCartney.
And Paul McCartney too.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He'll be there. But
I will say, as far as drummers are concerned, I feel like Ringo Starr is very underrated. I find his drumming to be fantastic, personally.
and not only that, I don't know if you've seen the video of like when he married his wife and he had his stepson.
I was not invited to that wedding.
No, but there's video of it where they're in the studio where he's letting the kid drum along with him.
That's terrific.
Now I say I don't know if it's a son or daughter, but they were letting him, drum. It was just really, really just a heartfelt moment. Just that I think would be a core memory for that kid, and just kind of showed off his
You
testimony.
would hope
being
so.
being
Got
a
the
good
drum
dude.
with Ringo Starr.
Yeah, right. I think he gets ragged on a lot, but I think he's
Ringo Starr is terrific.
Who gets ragged on, Ringo or the kid?
Ringo. I think everybody rags on him for being like the worst Beatle.
Oof.
I don't think there's any such thing.
No, man. I feel like his beats make the Beatles. You would not sound the same if anybody else was playing the drums. It would not. So yeah, looking forward to that. So I think those of you who joined in last time saw that I had a sheet of questions at the ready to stump my guys, but I feel like maybe before we ask the questions, how's everybody doing this week?
Doing terrific, actually. I'm getting ready for a snowstorm tonight.
Yeah, big snowstorm coming in, northeast, getting some weather. Which I'm a weather. I like the winter. I like snow. This is a snow body, and I'm a nobody. So that's kind of it.
You are not a nobody.
Nobody.
No, I love the snow. I like being outside in the wintertime. I'm allergic to everything, so in the winter all those allergies go away.
Yeah. No strawberries to sidetrack you and get you all stuffy.
I'm not allergic to strawberries anymore.
That's okay.
Yeah, that was trial and error, actually.
I take my life into my own hands. This looks so delicious.
It wasn't the strawberries. It was the pesticides that were on them. Thanks, Driscoll's.
Keep that DDT away.
Yeah, right?
Strawberries are fantastic.
They are. Nothing better.
Have you had those wow berries?
I have.
Those are amazing.
Wild berries and dream berries.
Holy cow.
They somehow, out of season, get the in-season strawberry taste, flavor.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, they're spectacular. You can get them right at Hannaford.
Yep.
They're about $7 for like 12 strawberries.
It's fine.
Totally worth it.
But here's just to catch up on what they are, is if you ever have like a strawberry that's like you're in January now, it's not in season here. They look like they're ripe, but they don't quite taste ripe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So the wow berries or the dream berries, like Marco was talking about, taste like June strawberries here. just full of flavor.
Solid.
Solid,
Absolutely
really good.
solid.
Yep.
I don't trust that.
Ah,
Have you guys had like and just kind of like the weird tasting, I guess, is like traces that I won't trust. The cotton candy grapes.
tastes I won't trust.
Why does it taste like June if it's in January? Where's it coming from? What are you not telling
Have
us?
you ever had cotton candy that tasted like a grape? I have not.
You haven't had cotton candy grapes?
I've had cotton candy grapes. They don't taste like
Cotton candy.
Oh,
cotton
yes,
candy.
they do.
I feel like cotton
I think
candy
so.
is more of a texture than it is a flavor.
I don't know.
It's
You
just
have cotton
sugar,
candy
right?
Grapes.
Well, that's fruit, sugar.
Right. So it's just sugar. So if the grape tastes like sugar, then maybe it does taste like cotton candy.
I don't trust them. I don't know where they came from. They have cotton candy apples too.
And tomatoes, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Cotton candy tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Does it taste like they're supposed to? You know?
I don't know that we've grown them here. Tara gets the seed catalogs, and it's like one of the favorite things to go through and see all the thousands of different tomato varieties that are out there. You know,
Who sent that meme the other day about farmers markets? Speaking of Tara,
that was Jed.
that was terrific.
Yeah,
Talking about my favorite part about farmers markets is cutting out the middleman, and vegetables are twice as expensive.
I mean, I have a lot of opinion about that. I don't know if we should get into that now.
Yeah, I don't want to make people mad. I just thought it was funny.
It was funny.
I fully support. I don't mind paying more.
I
no,
don't.
it's fresh. It's
It
good
is,
stuff.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the farmers got it rough, man. They need it.
Well, we were in Hawaii and we were driving on the side of the road. And one of the things they always talk about in Hawaii is how the pineapples there, no matter where you are, those pineapples are spectacular. And they're 100% right. And we were on the side of the road driving. We were driving back and stopped on the side of the road at one of those farm stands. And it was a family. They had their pineapples and they had fresh papaya and they had fresh mangoes.
I
and
love
they
mangoes.
had this pineapple mango drink. Okay. So it was like a blended drink. So I bought a pineapple, I bought a mango, and I bought a drink, and my bill came to about $45. And I paid it because I was ready for the fresh fruit, and I got in the car, and my father was like, "That you paid $45 for that?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." You know, and my mother piped right up, "Fran, you're supporting the locals, and they're not. You looked at these people. That $45 was going to go a long way for them.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't feel bad about that at all.
Nah, that's their going out. They went out in those clothes specifically.
Hell.
They dirty them up.
Yeah.
You think so?
No.
I was going to say.
But I've had mangoes that were so good that I would almost be willing to give somebody $45 after the fact.
This mango was out of this world.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Well, you were in Hawaii.
Oh my goodness, it was fresh, right there. You know.
Yeah.
Just the temperate climate alone, right?
Mm.
What's your favorite tomato?
My favorite tomato?
Yeah.
I'm not a really big tomato guy. I don't
love tomatoes.
I don't particularly care.
What about you then?
I'm a Roma tomato guy.
Come on. Say something controversial. there, Jesus.
Well, how about the heirloom tomatoes? Are pretty cool.
Heirlooms are great.
Yeah,
I'm a big heirloom guy.
Yeah.
Grandma. That's what we call her in the household.
I like the heirloom tomatoes on a good sourdough grilled cheese with like a fontina cheese. You know,
A man of culture. Mm-hmm. Tara, we got at our farm share like a purple tomato, and I think just it was so beautiful to look at that I really enjoyed that.
Cherokee? Chocolate chip?
Sure.
Could be.
Might be. It was, tomatoes just generally they come in all shapes and sizes and beautiful colors. So
I really liked how Brenden finished your sentence there. And
he was spot on, though. A pet peeve of mine, but he was spot on. So I got to say, everybody out there, I hope you find your favorite tomato and just enjoy the hell out of it.
Well, that's our podcast. This is Pet Peeve. This is Pet Peeve People
We are the giggle guys.
the giggle guys.
on the Pet Peeve podcast.
What else you got for us, John?
Okay. Well, Brenden, what is something that you wish you could forget?
All right. So when I was a young boy,
Last week.
we went over
Brendan's
to
young.
my mother's house, my maternal grandmother. And something happened. We were trying to get a hold of her, and we're calling her on the landline. She didn't answer. We had to pick her up or something. I don't recall the situation, but we had to drive over there. It wasn't that far. So we get there, we park in the driveway, and my mom's like, Bren, go in, go see if she's all right. And I was like 8. Yep. So this is not going to be a depressing story. So, okay. So I go up to I walk in the garage and I walk up and it's the garage door is just a regular wooden door with a glass window. And as I get to the window to knock, my grandmother comes walking into the kitchen buck naked. So she just got out of the shower, I guess, and the phone was ringing. So she rushed to go get the phone. And little 8-year-old me, I'm hand about to knock. And it's just my grandmother buck naked. I turn, I walk back, I sit in the car, and I don't move. Mom's like, was she there? Yeah.
Oh,
she's like, she's okay? And I said, yep. And we sit there, and my mom was like, what was she doing? Nothing. Yeah. And she went in. They had a laugh about that, but Jesus, for an 8-year-old kid,
that's something I would want to forget too.
That was just comedically funny, but just for an 8-year-old, that's not what I was expecting to see that day.
I honestly do not know how anybody could top that answer.
You did not. That whole story, you didn't see it going that way, did you?
No, I did not.
Well, I was hoping it was going to go that way because the only other option, being a grandmother, was, well, I don't need to say it. So
catastrophic.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's unreal. Marco, what about you, man?
I can't top that.
No, no unexpected nudity in your life.
I wish I could forget hearing that.
Yeah, no, that's one too.
You know what's funny is I don't know what she looks like, but I'm picturing.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Mrs. Vickers.
Yeah. Mrs. Vickers.
No, mine is actually kind of more of a serious thing, but I guess more along the lines of growing up. You and I would hang out a lot more growing up, but
same age.
We were, as we got older, got into high school, it was more, Christmas and Easter is when we'd see each other. And so for me, as getting together as a family and Christmas time, I always had these grand aspirations of what those days were going to be like. And they always topped the line. They were always absolutely amazing. And I always felt very tight with this family and very lucky to have this family. So I guess any individual thing I would choose to forget is when somebody from this family had a negative story that didn't work out for them, or I saw somebody in a different light.
Interesting.
Then I always pictured that person to be in. I don't have any individuals, and I'm not going to get into them, but I guess something along those lines would be something that I would choose to forget.
That's
right
it.
Away.
That's interesting. For me, I'm going to probably say, because I would want to experience it again, is I wish I could forget the original Star Wars trilogy so I can watch it with a set of fresh eyes again for the first time.
I like you went that way with it, as opposed to, forgetting something negative. Is you get to experience it again.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Then I changed my answer to the Goonies.
Well, your answer was
your answer stays. Pascal, you cannot edit that out.
If I had that experience, that would be my answer too.
I mean, it couldn't have been perfectly timed of me just about to knock, and it was just.
Was she dancing to a song or something?
Nope, the song at the intro of this Giggle Guys.
It sounded a little bit like
the Giggle Guys.
Jesus Christ, this brings back memories.
Hey John, it'd be great if you never did that again.
Did I look like a grandmother?
If there's a memory that I could choose to forget, it would be that moment.
Spinning image.
These are all really good answers. All right. Well, I guess it's probably time to move on from that question and ask one that I'm sure everybody's been thinking about, and what would this potentially be? So, Brenden, if you could have anybody, how about this? Wait. If your life had a narrator, who would be the worst possible choice?
Oh, the worst choice. Okay. Because as soon as you said that, I was instantly like, oh, who would I like to have?
I know who I'd like to have.
Yeah.
Worst
Not that
choice.
person. It'd be
the worst choice. Ryan Quackenbush.
Yeah. I mean, nothing would be accurately portrayed. It would just always be, he'd go off on tangents about himself.
I can picture the voice that he would be doing.
Yeah, it would not be good.
Wow.
The worst person to narrate, like anybody ever, like you thinking like famous people too.
Well, I mean, sure. Whatever your answer would be is how I want you to answer it.
Just off like the top of my head, just spitballing. I'd probably say Gilbert Gottfried would really be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Unless
As this man comes in here, he's going to get off the bus and be made fun of again.
that's a really good Gilbert Gottfried.
In my head, that actually sounded more RFK than anything.
Yeah. Another solid choice.
Yeah.
Those brainworms go a long way.
Yeah, maybe RFK would be good.
Yeah. It's just really hard to listen to that.
RFK Jr. specifically.
Yeah. I mean, just man, short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, if we're gonna go with like a celebrity, I would probably say like Mark Wahlberg would be like the one I would not want to have.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Really?
Just a doofy kind of boring.
Hey, yeah. He's cutting that wood there. What's he doing?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Wow. Donnie D.
If I could pick like any celebrity, I'd probably like say like Bill Burr would be like who I'd want to narrate my life.
Did you see that story about Bill Burr and Billy Corgan with Howie Mandel?
I wanted to see it. It came up in my
It's
recommended feed.
Unbelievable.
It's funny.
Unbelievable. Bill Burr was more frustrated and mad the entire time. I was out of this world. So the story is that Billy Corgan, who's the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins,
In case you guys didn't know who
Yeah.
Billy Corgan.
he came out months ago, basically hinting at the fact that Bill Burr and him were potentially half brothers, and the internet went crazy with it because they're both bald guys and they look a lot alike. And Bill Burr has always kind of like pushed it under the rug as a conversation he just doesn't want to have. And he was on Howie Mandel's podcast, and Howie Mandel said,
A bald man also.
also a bald man, brought this up, and Bill Burr was just like, no, don't want to talk about it. It's not a conversation I want to have. And in comes Billy Corgan.
Oh my God.
And Billy Corgan was just like ready to have this conversation. And Bill Burr just looked at him and goes, you are an asshole. I don't want that talk. I do not want to have this conversation with you. Through the course of the podcast, they ultimately ended up deciding that, their father may potentially be the same guy. And
Unreal.
that's
What we really need to do, Brenden, is try to get Bill Burr on this podcast to
I don't think he wants to talk about it. I don't think he wants to talk about it.
So maybe the floodgates have been open.
I feel like he needs an outlet to be able to express. I mean, what better place than?
I think we should just have Bill Burr here to have a conversation with the Giggle guys and not bring this up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we promise we won't talk about it.
Yeah, I promise we won't ask you about that, Bill Burr.
I mean, I suppose I got another like 10, 15 questions on my list here. We may have a few left after this episode. We could probably ask him.
Bill Burr,
Let me
what would you like
cross.
to forget?
Yeah, let me cross that one out. Though I would ask Bill Burr that question because I bet you it would be pretty funny.
Bill Burr, I have a question for you. You ever seen your grandma naked? Thoughts on that? Did it stick with you?
Okay. Okay.
I stick with Ryan Quackenbush.
Excellent answer.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be featured on future episodes of the Giggle Guys.
I think Ryan is a terrific storyteller. I do not want him narrating my life.
To his credit, he's good. But he's also good at making you feel like an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so are you.
Yeah, but I feel like he's a little bit better at it than I am.
By necessity, you guys have had to learn.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how you guys operate is.
I remember when you asked me, do you ever talk to your brothers nicely? And I said, yeah, often, actually. A daily occurrence. And your reaction was, what's that like?
I know. It's just, I'm sure, and I know because my brother was my best man at my wedding and I was his, that there is nobody else on this planet that you want to see succeed more, that you can depend on and count on. But at the same time, every interaction is intentionally as painful as it could possibly be.
You guys are about as mean as you can get. Record scratch mean.
We're not
Do
mean.
it.
We're not mean.
Do it.
Yeah. We're not mean, but we're not serious either.
Oh, it's playful, but Jesus,
playful.
It makes me laugh.
It's not from Yeah, it's not from a place of malice. It's from.
And it can be anything. You'll like Ryan will say anything, and John's just like, "Yeah, that's because you're terrible. You're a terrible person." And then Ryan just starts with the gifts. The gifts. Both of your gifts are on point.
Or today, Ryan. I haven't been down Lark Street. You know.
I couldn't give a shit.
It's stuff like that.
It really. It's. That's like a. I mean, it's tough. Like me and Liam are just fundamentally pretty different people. But like, if I ever said that to him, I think we would end up fist fighting.
You think so?
I don't think
that wouldn't roll well with him.
No, and he wouldn't say that to me either. You know what I mean? It's just not it's not his style.
It's funny though. It's like in that sort of relationship that I have with my brother has it sort of bleeds outwards to other people that I'm super close with that I kind of will talk to in a similar way, but I know the people who are on the other side of that. Like I wouldn't just do it to somebody who I feel like that could potentially be taken the wrong way. Mm-hmm. But it feels like it's always reciprocated and it comes back and then there's a laugh. It just keeps things.
There's often times where I read our chat and then feel like I just have to go take a shower and cry.
That's where you like to cry, Brent? Marc was in the
I like the random flack that Dan just gets for nothing. You sent the gif about the dog like just biting the dude's nuts, and you're like, "This is Dan."
Well, I said that because Dan is most likely the kind of person who, when you're not paying,
bite your nuts.
Oh, yeah. He's a big
with
nut tapper, but like Dan also says nothing ever, so it's just funny. Like he can say nothing in the group chat and just scroll it, and all of a sudden, just every 1 or 2 weeks, somebody's just
screw
like,
you, Dan.
You, Dan.
Yeah, well, every once in a while, Dan needs to know that we know he's there.
Yeah, we know you're reading our stuff and not reacting.
So bring him in.
Then he copied my answer. He wants beer.
I heard that swallow of that
was
White
good.
Claw.
That was
I'm
good.
sorry.
No, that was him.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That was
for
a pretty
anybody out
aggressive
there.
swallow there, John.
It's a trigger. It's something that makes some people very uncomfortable to hear those sounds. So I apologize to the listeners.
I think ASMR wise, that was great though. It's a testament to biodynamic, I think.
Pascal, could you play that swallow back for us?
Yeah, play that back for us.
Slow motion.
And let's listen to it. Wow.
Yeah. So
Biodynamics, the microphone. They also make our lovely headphones here.
Oh, look at that.
Not a sponsor.
Are they
could be.
sponsoring?
They could be.
Very much not a sponsor. Very much paid full price for all of this. And let me tell you something. The Germans make good stuff.
They make
at a high price point. Yeah. Really. But they're my favorite headphones.
These are nice. I feel like
very comfortable.
I didn't notice. I mean, it's obviously a little bit louder coming through the ears, but when you take them off, it feels like they're still.
So they're the open ear headphones.
I like your.
So it's through. It's not like a closed ear where you're closed off from the ground. Like I can hear Marc breathing. Just because you took a deep breath. Sorry, I'm not saying like you're a loud mouth breather.
Mouth breather.
And Marc's just. But the quality on them, I think, is great, and I love the sound pad. I mean, these are so soft to me.
I could wear these.
I'm not
all
really
day.
breathing heavy. I'm just having an asthma attack over here.
Water, Sandy, water.
Wow.
Hey, you know what'll help you?
What's that?
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, nice.
I should have brought that up last episode, by the way. We were talking about the weed smokers.
We were? In what context?
Driving cars.
Don't do it,
Yeah,
everybody.
don't do it. Don't do it.
You know, consume responsibly.
Yeah.
Is that a weed?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
It's one weed.
Excellent start to this podcast so far. Brenden, what is the meaning of true friendship?
So, kind of something that my Latin teacher in high school said. Her name was Frau. She was very German and very, very serious. She rarely laughed.
Did you have an unibrow?
No. But Frau...
Did she carry a yardstick and like slap it on the table?
No, but she did wear like in the winter, like full on wolf jackets, like made of wolf pelt.
What?
Yeah. Like fur jackets into school. Whatever. I thought it was badass. She was pretty cool.
It sounds pretty badass.
So Frau Weiss Great lady, very nice, very serious, held everybody to a high standard.
Do you guys remember in Ghostbusters when that lady was wearing the fur coat and it came to life when it
Yes.
goes? Okay. That's what I pictured in my head.
And that happened, actually. I mean, there weren't like feet or tails or anything hanging off of it. Like she didn't have like the hood of the head over it. But, just a very serious woman, like held us all to a standard. Like if you got like, I'd get like a 94 in a test. I'd be like, yeah, no, this is not good, Mr. Quackenbush. You should have gotten a 98 at least. And I'm like, oh, okay. We have high standards here.
She sounds British.
Well, I can't do the German accent so well because I don't know, whatever. Anyway, what she said, she brought it up one day, and it kind of stuck with me, was, your best friend is somebody that you might not talk to all the time, but if they came to your house at 3 a.m. and knocked and said they need some place to stay, all right, here's the couch.
Sure.
So.
So it's a willingness to accommodate them with no questions asked under any circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, I see it the same kind of as our family. It's just an unconditional whatever. I'm there for you. And to me, that's what it is. A friend is...
That's somebody that you can, like you said, it may be a while before you see each other.
Yep.
Due to where you live.
And we could not talk for 8 years, but if they showed up, I'll do anything for you.
It's right. Well, not just you'll do anything. It's picking up right where you left off.
Absolutely.
We were, go figure, on a plane to Disney a couple weeks ago. And
where's this Disney? What is
Disney?
Heading down to Florida. And
Florida?
I get on the plane and I sit down and I put my earbuds in and I look up and this girl's looking at me and she's making eye contact and she's looking at me and I'm like,
and she was wearing a wolf pelt.
She was not wearing a wolf pelt.
She was German and very serious.
No, she says, she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, I'm like, that's Michelle. So Michelle
Obama?
No, negative Ghost Rider.
Oh.
Michelle was one of my closest friends in 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
And we were just very tight in 3rd and 4th grade. And then we grew up, middle school happened, and we just fell out of touch and didn't really talk at all. And suddenly we found each other sitting next to each other in 10th grade English class. And we picked right up where we left off. Just our friendship blossomed again. And
making
we were just
paper footballs and passing notes. And
just talking about anything. It was just a very comfortable friendship. And her and I stayed pretty close and we stayed pretty tight. And we talked straight through, college. And even after college, we stayed in touch. And she ended up getting married and having a couple kids. I went to her daughter's first birthday. And the last time I had saw her was at her daughter's first birthday. That was 18 years ago.
And then she was...
Suddenly we see each other on the airplane. We spent all day at Epcot the following weekend. She was going down with her daughter and she came with her daughter to Epcot and hung out with us all day long. And it was a terrific day.
Does she know you still back in the day as like Mr. Disney?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And she was also a big Disney fan as well. From her.
It's just kindred spirits.
Yeah,
right?
But I mean, like I said, it has been 18 years since we've seen each other, or even spoken to each other. She only lives 45 minutes away, but
well, the older you get, the harder it is to maintain those kind of friendships.
That's the reality of it. And but it was just such a fun day, and our daughters were connecting and having a great time, and it was just one of those you pick up where you left off. There was no questions asked.
I think that's an excellent answer. And that'd probably be something that I would say I would piggyback on that because I've just several friends like that. Personally, I've had a difficult time throughout my life
making friends. Yeah, no kidding.
Not only making friends, but keeping friends. I am not very good at reaching out to people and saying how's it going. I'm very insular in that way. But I do have several friends that if because I haven't seen them, that they're wired like me in that way. It'd just be like that. You pick up right away you left off.
Yeah.
But I think it is tough. You got a lot going on. You got your own personal career, your own family, all this stuff.
And then you only got like 10 minutes of free time to yourself on the weekend. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to spend it with yourself, by yourself, doing the things that you like to do.
Or it's doing the honey-do list or texting the group chat because, Jesus, sometimes that's a full-time job.
It is. Though sometimes I will, if there's 50, 60 messages, I'll just skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never skip it. I will always make time to go back and read it.
Good for you, man.
Always.
Yeah, just give me a TLDR next time. If I say, Mark, summarize the last 40 messages, please.
So I when I say read, I'll skim through. I want to see if there's anything I missed. That's
Or
important.
like a direct kind of,
Correct.
flow. I probably should go back in and see if Ryan somehow, some way shit on me because, I mean, odds are.
Oh, any chance he gets.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah, right. Well, you can now respond to that with
Which reminds me, I should probably just,
text him a middle finger right now. Just, call him
Like
up on the phone.
that
Get him on the
Amazon
phone.
package that you sent them was pretty spot on
That
too.
was good.
well, I thought of him right away when I saw,
It's terrific. His reaction was priceless.
Yeah.
check the Quack Pack short. Ryan getting a package in the mail.
He sent that, and he was so proud. He sent me that video, and he was like, I don't know what it was. He sent me something else, and like I responded to whatever that video was, and then he was like, "Did you not like the video I sent you?" And I like had to scroll up. I must have went to bed early or something where I saw it. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is funny."
It is funny. It was funny.
So then he like I uploaded it to the server that me and Pascal have, and he was just every day for like 6 days was like, "When are you gonna post that? When am I gonna see it? When are you gonna?" And I was like, "Ryan, when would you like it posted?" He's like, "Oh, no rush, whatever." And I'm like, "Ryan, do you want to post it today?" And he's like, "No, don't go out of your way for it." And I said, "Okay, I'll post it at 4:00 today." So the day it posted, he was already after me for like a week about it.
Yeah.
Ryan's
finally-
never seen a reflection he didn't like.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what's funny about that is I sent it, and you get the Amazon sent delivered, and nothing.
He's just waiting.
Crickets. That's what it sounded like. I'm like, did he get it, or did Janae get it? So, I guess I'm waiting for the equivalent to show up on my door. I don't know what it is.
Well, you got a 5-pound bag of gummy bears.
Get a 5-pound. When I was building a fence in my backyard, and of course I was eliciting the help of anybody who could come, and then Marco regretfully couldn't come and help me dig post holes, so he sent me a 5-pound bag of gummy bears, which
Second best thing that you could possibly get.
I think it was more in response of the fact that you bought your Harbro gummy bears and they were
stale. Yeah, they were.
and you were so upset. And every bag of those, what are they? The Albanese gummy bears. Every bag of those,
They're good
they're just
What are they?
never stale.
or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Are they Albanese? I think
we'll just go with that. But there was like 15, 16 different flavors in there, and they were really good gummy bears. And I got to say, just for anybody who's in the market for a gummy candy, if you see a mixed variety bag of gummy snacks, skip it, because I feel like they're just like the stuff that they sweep up off the floor, and it's stale. I bought 4 bags, and every one of them was the same. So just avoid the variety pack. If you want the gummy cherries, get the gummy cherries or the gummy worms. If you want a variety, buy 2 and then mix them together yourself.
Yeah. I actually, you know what? I don't know if it just came out or what. It's the nerd clusters.
Oh, I can't.
I
Too
have-
much sugar.
They're
Too much.
it's just good though.
You know what I learned about those?
What?
Is I don't know if you guys follow, and I don't know why you would, like the Iron Man or like the decathlon where they get the powdered like fuel drinks that they put in there.
Yeah.
They're expensive, I guess. So what these guys do is they get these nerd clusters because it has salt and it has tons of sugar. So you're getting your electrolytes and you're getting your fuel. So that's what they use to refuel themselves on these.
The salt dehydrates you.
Well, you got to get the you got to get the.
It's the electrolytes.
Yeah.
That's what salt is. Yeah.
And so they get these nerd clusters because you can buy them for nothing, and you can get the fuel. So it's actually the fuel of winners, nerd clusters.
Who's your favorite Iron Man? Not movie character, but triathlon runner.
Oh, Glenn Quackenbush,
There you go. Glenn Quackenbush is right. Yeah, he is a true Iron Man.
100%.
I think he was. I think he was top 50 out of the water at
Doesn't
Champlain.
surprise me. He was a phenomenal swimmer.
Biking, he was exactly on par with what he thought he would be, to the point that we went to go see him that day. And cool dude. we went out there, and he wrote all this shit to Maria. They rented like a cabin, and we saw him start the swimming, and he was out quick. Like, he was probably, I think he was
like the Road Runner, like that puff of.
yeah. and he was out of the water quick, and we saw him there. We're cheering him on, and then there's a lot of nothing, right? There's a lot of waiting.
This is the Lake Placid Ironman, so
Correct.
it is a lot of hills.
And so he now starts his biking next.
Swimming uphill is difficult.
Yeah. So he starts his biking, and there's not much to do. So it's okay. Let's go back. We'll go back to the cabin. We'll make lunch, and then we'll go. And she had Maria had stuff written down that was like what time he should be at like these areas that we're gonna go see him. And basically, he, say 12:30. We went out to that area, and exactly as we get out of the car and start walking, there goes Glenn down the hill and goes, "Oh my God, Glenn!" And after he passed us and kept going, we're like, I'm kind of tired standing out here. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You guys want to go take a nap or something?
Why not?
And then we came to the running. And have you guys heard about Glenn's running?
No.
He was having a tough time. He did not have enough nerd clusters. He was cramping up pretty bad.
Glenn, if I told you once, I told you twice.
Yep. And it's
those nerd clusters.
13 miles out, 13 miles back.
Yeah.
You
Do
follow
the
it
math.
still.
That's 26 miles.
So you follow it out. And,
15.1 miles out.
Yeah, 13.1. And so he'd followed it out, and we saw him, and he went downhill. And then it's just a long, flat track out, and then it's a long, flat track back, and then just an uphill climb.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw him on the way down, and we're cheering him on. And then, then that's when we kind of started, and I think Dana and them know, too. It was like, it says their name on their bibs, just their first name. So then we'd start being like,
Glenn.
well, we'd be like, come on, Bill, climb that hill. Hey, so that's all we do, start rhyming it. And then come on, Chuck, whoa. Yeah. So that's all we do is just cheer people on. And now it's like, Glenn should be back. Glenn should be back. It's been a while.
Yep.
He's struggling, obviously. Maria runs down to the bottom of the hill. We see him, and he looks like a World War I, just got through a battle. He looks messed up, struggling. He gets to that bottom of that hill, and she's like, all these people came out here to see you. You better start running up that hill. Glenn starts running. But I mean, Jesus.
Everybody needs a little bit of a spark and a little bit of a motivation.
You better get up that hill. And Glenn ran and finished, and Jesus, that was like a full-time training regimen.
It's amazing.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Visiting him in Buffalo. That bike on that stationary.
I couldn't even fathom.
It's amazing what he did.
It's not for me.
Oh, I wish. I only wish I could be able to
Oh, I thought you
accomplish
said
something like
I thought
that.
you were wishing that I was going to do
No,
it.
I wish I
too.
could be able
Yeah.
to do that.
The only equivalent.
We get 12 views on this video, and John will start training for here.
You know what? You get 12 views on this. I'll run the Ironman without even training.
Yeah, there you
No,
go.
F that.
I'll tell you.
I did run cross country when I was in high school, and I remember we would have these invitational meets, and you'd get together to be hundreds of kids running this race, and that was all right. That wasn't anything special, but there was this group of girls who around every turn were like, "Go, John! Go, John!" And I was like, "Oh my God, how do they know who I am?" And I ran my best race because they were amping me up the whole time. When I crossed the finish line, I learned the kid behind me, his name was John.
Oh,
So, and I thanked him. I was like, thank you for providing the motivation. So
that's great. There was a time I was addicted to running. It was after I graduated college.
might as well face. No.
A complete addiction, man. You have no idea. It was 12 miles a day. I loved it. Hit that runner's high. I'd run in the morning, run in the evening, and I was training for a relay. It was called the Reach the Beach Relay in New Hampshire. I think it was 217 miles in 24 hours. And each person had 3 legs to run. Their legs would add up. So I think my leg added up to something around the 18 or 19 mile mark. And we got in. I ran my first leg. I think it was 5 miles, and I felt phenomenal, absolutely amazing. Only to finish the leg, get in the van, and drive to the next spot. So there was no time to properly
Stretch or anything.
warm down, stretch, cool yourself down. Ran the second leg, felt amazing, felt good. Everything was clicking, feeling great. Get out for the third leg, and I am the third to last runner for the relay. So I'm doing my leg, and all of a sudden my knee locks, and I'm not running anymore. So I stop.
Old peg leg Vishon.
Wait, do you mean that knee?
No, the left knee.
Disney?
Yes.
What?
What about that?
Disney?
Disney.
Disney.
That's not
My
funny.
God.
You can do better than that.
Nope.
Thank
Oh,
you.
come on.
That was terrible. Well, long story short, torn meniscus. And that is why I look the way I do right now, actually.
Ugly.
He could not grow a beard before he tore his meniscus, and now that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Brenden,
Yeah, that's me.
go with the flow or fight the current?
Ooh, I suppose that depends on the situation, right? That's purely, to me, situational.
Give me an example.
Well, I think there's a lot of times where if it's say we're doing like a group outing or something, I'm pretty good with going with the flow. I think I can roll with the punches pretty well.
Yes, you certainly can.
And I'm okay with being able to be fluid like that, where if you need to switch or whatever, I think that works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a time and a place to go against the grain, go against the current, because that's the actual question.
Same.
And that's just stuff that I have strong feelings about. I think that's a point in time where I would go against the current. Otherwise, I'm pretty sanguine, I think.
What are we talking about again?
We'll go with the flow or go against the current.
I'm going to go with the flow. Absolutely.
I would think that would be your answer. It feels like that, and I feel like that's for you a pretty universal thing. Yeah,
It's a Disney thing, actually.
Might be. Could be a very Disney thing.
Universal next week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking personally, I think that let me talk about me now. In my interpersonal relationships, 100% go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody wants to tell a funny joke, I want to roll with it. You know, when I think about how I want to navigate in society, I feel like I'm more of against the current. Not in a flamboyant way, just I feel like some things can be done better.
John, I think you're the number one contrarian I know.
There you go.
I think you like it sometimes.
And a lot of times I do, because I feel like exploring the flip side of the coin is an interesting frontier.
Oh, for
sometimes.
sure. I absolutely agree.
You know, you learn a little bit about yourself when you do stuff like that.
Right? Like, we all have iPhones, like normal people. And this guy's like, can't have that.
Android life.
Fucking worst, man, let me tell you.
It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
That's false, categorically.
You want me to jump on the bandwagon, but it's not an argument I choose to have.
No, see, Marco just
Go
goes
with
with
the
the
flow.
flow.
Go with the flow.
100%, you know?
Yep.
And that's why Marco adds to the group dynamic, you know? He's makes it easier.
Except when I pipe up and become an opiniated. It's
Well,
not funny.
that's-
It's just Mark's an asshole. Right
I think
now.
it's funny.
My favorite was my 30th birthday party. We're all boozing in my apartment, and it's getting a little rowdy and whatnot. Marco got a phone call,
No.
and in the middle of the entire party, told everybody to pipe down. I have to take this call.
So the story is, I was telling your father about the time, because your father was adamant. My mother doesn't drink, and she does not drink at all. Just does not enjoy it, chooses not to. But my father told me once that, when they were in college, her and her roommate would split a bottle of Southern Comfort and then meet my father out at the bars. And that was, so in college, Dana partook and
Southern Comfort is no joke.
yeah, she enjoyed her time in college. But when she tells me to this day, when she got home and realized she had to drive places, it just was not worth the risk, and she just chose to stop and has never looked back. So good job, Mom. But I was telling your father that, no, my mom used to drink in college, and your father knew that, but he was not having
Messing with
it.
you?
And I was also tossing him back pretty good at your birthday. So your mom, no, not Dana. I said, no, she did. My father told me. No, I don't believe it. Hold on. I'm going to get Mom on the phone. Oh, I was going now.
I was going for the record.
Mom on the phone. Mom,
No, it's not going to stop.
I need you to tell Ricky something. Tell Ricky that you used to drink Southern Comfort in college. And
Wait,
Rick would take the phone and
Your mom was right next to me, man.
No, she was not.
Yes, she was. This was the 30th birthday party where she was drinking with me, taking shots with Patty.
This was a different party then. This was a different party.
This was the one that you told everybody. You were sitting off at the couch,
Different party.
Told everybody to shut up because he got a phone call.
This was the conversation I was having with my mother so that she could tell your father, and she was toying with me too. So I was trying to get her on speaker to tell your father.
Well, at the same party, probably.
Different party.
Okay, well, I guess the specific party is the.
But I do remember telling everyone in your apartment to be quiet so they could hear my mother tell your father something on the phone.
And I remember later,
and it was obnoxious.
One of my buddies was
obnoxious.
like,
"What was
who is
that guy's deal?
What's his deal? What's up with him?"
Yeah,
it's like, "Oh, that's my cousin. He's really cool. He's kind of go with the flow all the
he's
time.
very zen.
Very
blatantly obnoxious."
It was fun.
It was not my finest moment.
That's funny.
But yeah, doing shots with your mom at my
That's right. I do remember that
birthday was one of the highlights of my life.
Yeah.
Because it was like out of nowhere. I never, you joke, haha, we do a shot with me. It was my 30th birthday. So
she did it.
She did a shot.
Yeah, that's it.
It was fun.
I was not invited to this birthday.
Well, you were also 12.
I would appreciate the invite.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I've been to family weddings. I could throw sodas or something.
What's funny about that, Brenden, is it feels like in my brain it just happened yesterday. And if I was having that party, 100%, you'd be like the first person I'd call.
See?
And so I almost can't get into that mind frame where I would ever.
But you were still a kid.
Trying to protect him.
I was definitely very young.
Yeah, trying to protect you from the
Just like it was your bachelor party. I wasn't 21.
Yeah.
So I showed up for the baseball and then I drove home.
What's funny? The bachelor is only like a year after that.
Yeah, I was like 16, I think, or something.
Yeah. So you would have been 15 at my 30th.
I had to at least be 16 because I could drive. Because I remember it was Bob and Liam went, and Liam was 21. So I had to be like 18 or 19. And Bob let me drive whatever. I think he just got the car or whatever. He let me drive it home. Yeah.
Probably out of necessity. That was a mess.
Oh, yeah. But that was the plan is we went out, we drove the car, we did our baseball, and then you guys did whatever. And then when you guys left in the limo, I drove the car home. But that was for me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this Toyota Camry all the way home.
You know what I remember your dad driving? It was like a Corvette or something. And I remember the license plate was Quack 1.
Yep, Quack 1. That Corvette met an untimely end as far as his ownership. And I believe it was my fault.
What, that
he ended up getting rid of it. And it was a gorgeous Corvette. I mean,
was it blue? My memory, sir.
Yeah,
Was it blue?
Yeah, blue, beautiful looking Corvette. I think it was like an '80s, and he'll know all the info on it. But
why don't we get him on the line? Let's call him up.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
No,
I can't. My phones are all in use. But I think it had the racing stripes on it. Like it was a gorgeous, gorgeous vehicle, and I was like 4. So to me, it's just a car. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he came home one day. And my dad's a neat freak. He's a clean freak. He loves everything clean. He came home one day and he found a Razor scooter jammed underneath that thing in the garage. Yep.
Jammed?
I mean, it wasn't malicious, but I probably ran in the house and just fucking threw the thing in the garage.
Oh, no.
And he, what are you doing? So he got rid of it not long after. And
kind of like a garden tool hitting the side of a car.
Yeah.
Which is something that happened.
Whose car?
My father's brand new Saab got a hoe in the side of the car.
Not the hose he wanted in it.
That's why I specified garden tool, because I knew where that was going to go.
I remember that. One of those things that just most vivid memories.
Yeah.
Of, like a childhood is like that. One of those unreal. And it was like the perfect indent of the.
Did you do it on purpose?
No, absolutely not.
We were probably like sword fighting or keeping somebody from grabbing it from his hands.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Right into the car.
Oh my God.
My father was not thrilled about that one.
He handled it well, though, at least in front of us. I don't know if you got it later on.
No, it wasn't that type of a situation.
Yeah, it was an accident. Kids are kids. They're going to do stuff like that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So I guess now we're on that subject of like being that time frame, like favorite childhood memory.
Oh, there's so many, right? Like I think like family wise, Thanksgiving, Christmases were pretty big. I loved them, look forward to them, nice dude. I looked forward to them a lot growing up. If I had to like quantify my childhood memory, I don't know. It's tough. There's just so many things that like our family did that I really, we do vacations. We did, just going out to visit people. I think it's tough to put it on one singular event because there's such like an amalgamation of them all that kind of made it in my head, just stuff that I liked.
If that doesn't put a smile on your face, thinking about the happiness of Brendan's childhood, then you got something wrong with you.
Yeah, what happened since then?
Adulthood, I just look for new places to cry.
Yeah.
What about you, Marco?
Lowen.
I do. I'm just kidding.
No, mine's definitely very materialistic, but I was in probably kindergarten and I spent all year long telling my parents for Christmas, saying I really want to bring me one of those big wheels cars that you could drive in, the Power Wheels cars.
Power wheels.
Power wheels.
Yeah. And I wanted one of those.
Did you get, was it the Bigfoot one or the?
Well, no, what happened was
Power Rangers.
I spent all year asking for it. All the neighbors had them. All of my friends from school had them. And Christmas morning rolled around and I came running out and our tree was always just packed. My parents, we were spoiled. And, but there was no Power Wheels. And so I went through everything and, my parents pulled the whole, did you get everything you wanted? I said, yeah, I did. I just didn't, I don't see the Power Wheels here. And
it sounds like a certain
sounds like
movie.
Christmas
It does.
Story. Is that weird? So I said, and my parents say, well, maybe it was just too big, couldn't fit in his sleigh. And I said, yeah, that's probably what it was. And I let it go. And it's on home video, actually. And my father is coming in from the garage carrying the Power Wheels and plops it down. I was as giddy as a kid could get.
Yeah.
And my brother and I, we went out in the garage in our coats and we drove that thing around in circles.
Your first EV.
Yeah.
Absolutely
right.
Giggling and cackling. And it's one of those memories that I hold on to very dear. You know, absolutely hold on to very dear.
Yeah.
Just one of those, it was one of the best moments because I had already set myself up, not out of disappointment, just out of acceptance that I wasn't going to get this. And it came and it was one of the coolest opportunities ever.
Yeah.
And it was a red Jeep, actually.
Beautiful.
A Jeep Wrangler.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My neighbor had one, and he put 2-car batteries in it. So instead of one, he ran it off with 24 volt instead of a 12 volt.
Did that hum around for?
Holy shit.
No,
but it ran, dude, that thing
ludicrous
went
speed.
Fast. Yeah. Oh my, you'd be driving it and like as a kid, I guess they're cool enough, but they're definitely not fast.
No.
And then like, so you're like, and then all of a sudden, like the neighbor girls would just go, whoa. And they're like, oh my God,
That's so cool.
those plastic wheels just burning out.
Oh, that's terrific.
That's amazing.
That's terrific.
Two batteries. And I was like, Dad, why can't we do that? And he's like, it's going to burn up. Okay, Dad.
That's fantastic. I had a very similar experience to Marco. It was a different thing that I coveted. I wanted a Sega Genesis. Oh, yeah. And this was I loved Nintendo. I did, but the Sega came out before.
It was the new thing.
It was the new thing, and it was like, oh my God. And the lead up to Christmas Day, I snooped around the house and I found a couple of games and I knew where they were. And I don't know, my mom knew that she knew that I knew where they were, but I'd go and I'd look at the game and I'd just be like, and this was probably like 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't know. It felt like years until Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And every day I would just imagine I would look at the box art and then I would tuck it back in exactly where I found it. And and then Christmas Day rolled around and nothing. It wasn't there. It wasn't under the tree. It was, and I was devastated. I was like, oh man, I really thought this thing was going to happen. Like, and after everybody opens their presents, you'd go and you'd have breakfast and like Ryan and like I told Ryan, I showed him pictures too, like the boxes. And we were both kind of like, we were happy because We had a lot of awesome stuff. We were spoiled too. So we weren't sad, but there was a little bit of a blueness to our attitude. And then we ate our breakfast, and then I didn't even notice my dad get up and walk in the other room. And when he came back in, not only did he have like the big box, which we knew what it was, but there was like 6 or 7 games wrapped, and we knew what they were. And probably the same thing.
A Jubilee.
It was a Jubilee.
Yeah.
And that was probably my as far as like that kind of Christmas experience, would be like that tops the list.
My parents pulled one on me where I'm sitting there, and I mean, I had to be like 16 or something, and like PlayStation 3 just came out. And you know, and I think I only had like,
shows his age right there.
and you know, I might have been older. I might have been like 18.
That's only like 2 PlayStations ago, isn't it?
I might have been 18 or something, but it had just recently come out, and I had the PlayStation 2. So they're like, they're given games, and you know what it was? Actually, I lied about the PlayStation. I apologize. It was, I had a PlayStation 2, and I started getting a bunch of Xbox games because it's like Halo just came out. So I get all these games, and I was like, oh, they're so great. I said, well, we can't use them. We got to, you know, I don't have an Xbox, so we got to return them. And she's like, my mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And like, we'd open up another present, be another Xbox game. And I'm like, it's okay. We'll just return it. It's fine.
Go with the flow.
And, you know, it's fine. It's, you didn't like, whatever. I thought you know, you didn't know. It's fine. It's fine. We can't use them. And then like, it never even clicked in my mind that like, they were like,
setting you up.
Yeah. So then I like opened it up, and I felt like the Nintendo kid. I was like, an Xbox! Where's my Halo? And that was like they got me hard on that. And it never even crossed my mind. Because she was so, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't look. And I was like, it's fine, man. Absolutely. You know, I'm just like, I felt bad. I was like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I can't use these. I'm sorry.
You know, I hope to do similar things, whether it be on holidays like that, but I really hope that in 25 years or 30 years, Lowen's hosted a podcast with Luke and Avery or whatever, and talking about stuff that we did like that. That's awesome.
It is. It's definitely core memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Carrie gave me one a couple years ago. We're at my parents' house for Christmas Day, and we're sitting around dinner. I mean, this is hours after presents. Hours. And Carrie leans over and goes, Mark, there's a little something behind the tree there.
Oh, no.
It was a Red Ryder BB gun.
Did he really got you?
He did.
Have you fired it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The BB goes, pew!
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Don't let Luke have it.
Why not?
Yeah, shoot his eye out.
Shoot his eye out. He already climbs trees like Michael Jackson.
And he writes really good reports as to why he should be able to climb.
Yes, he does. He
Literally
has
anything.
Good argument.
He's passionate.
Let me
about
climb
climbing
or
trees.
else. You can't threaten your teacher, Luke.
It's not threatening. It's passionate.
Didn't he draw that in like an extra large font too? Like,
or else.
Everything else was like 8 font, and then he went to like 64.
That's so awesome. Okay. Brenden, how do you define integrity?
Oh, this is just like my job interview, because this is kind of the stuff that they asked me.
I know. That's actually questions for a job interview is where I pulled it from.
How do I define integrity? Integrity is an old wooden ship. You know, it's the generic. It's doing the right thing with nobody looking.
That's what's going to be my answer.
And I'll expand upon that. Then.
That was going to
the
be my
ultimate
answer.
litmus test of integrity is returning a cart to the cart corral.
Yeah. Even if it's not yours.
I will go out of my way.
Me too.
And if I see somebody leave it, I'm a to them. I'll go and be like, oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Or
Did you ever see the guy who like
I'll
throws
move
the
their
magnets
cart.
on people's cars?
I'll move the cart behind their car so they can't get out. And so force them. And then I'll be like, do you want me to take that for you?
Now, you know what's funny about that is we were talking last podcast about the thank you wave. And then I realized I was thinking about this. Somebody said to me once, you know, you never know what's going on in that person's day.
It's true.
So it kind of forced me to take a step back. So while I will see somebody do that, I don't know if I'll go as far as, you know, setting them up for failure. You know, I know you're better than that.
No, I'm not.
What I will do is if I see somebody who's just emptied their cart in the parking lot and I'm walking in, I'll take the cart.
I'll snag it for him too.
Yeah.
But I'll usually wait just to see what they're gonna do, because then they spend so long trying to just it keeps trying to roll and they just keep putting it back. I'm like, you could have just walked over this.
This
It's a
feels
windy
like
day out.
we're butting up against a pet peeve here.
Yeah, I guess. But to me, it's just, I mean, that's like the literal right thing to do. And there's no repercussions if you don't. But I worked as a cart guy for Price Chopper forever. And it was, that was a passion of mine, was returning carts to the vestibule.
I was damn good at it.
And
I get 26 without,
Exactly. By myself, I could easily take 12.
Yeah.
And then with a person, because you'd have a steerer and a pusher.
Yeah.
Oh man, we would just at the last thing of the night, we
That
get
was
as many
fun.
as we could.
Yep.
All right. At the age you were doing that, that was obviously a minimum wage job. What was minimum wage at that moment?
$4.
It was last month, so it was $15 an hour.
No, what was minimum wage when you used to do this as a kid?
So it just changed. Our minimum wage, it had to be $6.25 or $6.75.
That's about what I was that's what it was for us too.
So I got fired from, not fired, I was seasonal at Target. That was my first job ever. I was like, my first real job. I worked with my mom at Veloci's, but I just turned 16 or 15. I think I was 15. And so you can only have I could only work 8 hours on the weekend. So I worked 8 hours, 16 hours.
At a certain age, aren't you capped? You can't work or more than
Yeah, school nights, you can't work more than 3 hours.
And then you can't drive after 9. So I mean,
you can't
unless
for
you're
work.
coming home from work. It is allowed. But I was 15, so I couldn't drive.
These are New York State laws.
And then
For the 5 people outside of New York State watching this video.
we have a very
hello to our
large-
friends in France.
Hey, David out of England, by the way. That's our coin winner.
You're awesome.
He was out of England.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
really cool.
So he got back to me.
Nice.
He's out of the UK.
That's terrific.
We got to have him in for the podcast.
Very cool guy. Just started metal detecting.
Yep.
Last year, and he's
That
found
would be
some cool
jolly
stuff.
good.
It's a British humor. Yeah, but when I was returning cards too, and my minimum wage was $4.70.
Oof.
But
Yeesh.
I think our minimum wage was $5.25 or something.
See, there you go. I'm a little bit older than you. You're a little bit older
Well,
than
they just
I worked
raised
as a
it for
lifeguard,
me.
and lifeguards got paid $6.25.
Well, it's the hazard pay that you probably got.
So I was making, I think it was $6.25 at Target, and it was just seasonal. And then they laid everybody off for seasonal stuff. So I was like, well, I got to get a job. So I applied to Price Chopper. It turns out
You never sounded more like your father in that moment.
Yeah. So it turns out,
Right?
Give me a hamburger.
don't ever insult my father like that again. It turns out that Price Chopper just had a big front end scandal where they were doing something with coupons and everybody was in on it. So they were basically swindling lots of money. So I didn't know that. So I walked in for this job interview, nervous, they're going to turn me down. And, they were they asked you just some questions, your availability. He's like, okay, when can you start? Hell yeah, I'm great at this job stuff. Whatever you want.
Right now.
And he's like, okay, how does $8.25 an hour sound? And minimum wage was $6. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, it sounds like the best. Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, wow.
So they must have been, they were hurting for people that bad. They were paying that much.
Why not?
Look at you
And then I
go.
worked
Well,
there for 8 years.
you rolled in carts, and I've got 2 answers to this that I can give you. What is because people would leave things in carts all the time. What is the craziest thing you found in a cart that somebody left in there by accident or intentionally?
So the grossest thing, I hated when people brought back bottles and they'd it was glass
Sludge.
bottles. It was glass bottles that they'd have cigarettes in and literal,
Dip.
you're not lying about sludge.
Dip.
They'd leave them out at night and there'd be slugs in them. And it was just the grossest, and you touch them and the plastic gloves don't do anything. So it's just, it was the grossest. They smelled. That just made me livid, is when people left stuff like that. Otherwise, I mean, people leave purses and shit in there all the time, a lot of food. I don't think I've ever had anything wild, they left a chinchilla or something.
Yeah.
But it was probably just personal effects and, just gross stuff like garbage that just... What about you? Did you find anything cool?
The wildest thing I ever remember finding was I was approaching the cart, and it was just a regular grocery bag, like a plastic bag, and it was tied on the top, and I could tell it was filled with something. So out of curiosity, I opened it, and I'm glad that I was careful about and deliberate about like grabbing the top, because when I looked in, it was a bunch of like used syringes and vials and like medicine and stuff, and it was just like all just like kind of poking out in it. And I was like,
wake up with lockjaw.
I know. I brought it in. It's funny you say that. There was actually used veterinary syringes and stuff. That's what the people at the front said.
Sure it is.
You know, I brought it to the pharmacy actually, and so that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, I find purses. I remember one time I found a purse and it was open, and this lady must have just gone to the bank because there's a couple $1,000s. What looked like it could have been a couple $1,000s. So I zipped it up because I didn't want anybody from the front desk to go rifling through it, and I brought it to the
manager.
You know, whatever the customer service desk was at the time. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went through it. Maybe they did. I don't know. But
isn't that wild?
Integrity, I did not.
Never would have crossed my mind to even do something like that.
What?
Never.
Leave a
Zip it up and hand it in properly?
Take anything. Take it.
Oh, no. It did. No.
Of course not.
No, didn't me either.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was just like a little old lady. I pictured my grandmother leaving her purse or something.
Oh, yeah.
That money's important.
We were leaving Avery's. Avery had a birthday party or something in Waterville that we were leaving. And we were driving up 19th Street towards Latham. And I just see like whatever those things are, dust bowls, the fucking tumbleweeds across the drive.
Were you like Wild West or what's
Well,
going on?
it like blowing across the road like that. It was like money, and I'm like, that looks like money, and I stop and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's money. So I pull over on the side of the road, and like underneath this person's car, and there's like people everywhere, just kind of like outside a liquor store looking at the money, and I'm like, fuck this, dude. So I get out and I walk over to it, and it's a fucking stack. Like somebody had I counted it up, it was like 3 something. Just not a lot. I mean, $300 to somebody, that's a lot of money
For a little kid, for sure.
And it definitely somebody just came from the bank and it fell out of their pocket, and it started to blow up. So I pick it all up, and like guys went over there after and tried to find stuff, but I got it all. So I sat there at my car, called Waterville PD, called them up. I said, listen, I got this money. They took like 20 minutes to get out there. I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Handed it in, did all that stuff. Yeah. I don't know if they ever found anybody.
There's no way that money ever found its way back to that person. I guarantee it.
So the car that it was sitting underneath the car. So I'm hoping that they at least could be like, this is the
find a camera.
But say, just put yourself in that person's shoes. Would you think to call the cops to see if they found the money?
I'm hoping they reached out to who owned the car. You know, they could look up who owns the car.
I forget that we're in the nanny state. There's probably a camera on them or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
well,
hoping.
You know what? You just got your social credits.
That's
Integrity.
right. That's
Brendan's
what I'm
integrity scale is, he's a solid 5 now. 5 out of 5.
$300 to somebody that could be all they get a month. So.
I mean, that's a couple grocery trips.
So for me, that's not
one. Yeah.
But it's I'd rather.
That's like a dozen eggs and a couple cartons of milk. You know.
Right.
Hey, topical. This could be. I'd be interested in hear what your guys' answer is to this one, because I know you both to be very happy, fortunate people. If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
I would take back my knee injury so I could still be in shape.
Interesting. Okay, that's a good answer. That makes sense.
I was just gonna say, not be fat. That'd be great. Take back one thing in my life.
You could change one thing about anything. It could be anything.
Naked grandma.
Yeah, that kind of feeds into the first question.
Oh my God.
Full circle. Change one thing in my life. I guess I wouldn't change anything. Because everybody talks about the butterfly effect. Every single thing that's happened to me in life, good or bad, has shaped me and given me my life experiences and made me who I am as a person, and has brought me to this exact moment answering this exact question with, 2 of my favorite cousins, 2 of my favorite people. So I wouldn't change a thing. All the ups, all the downs, it's all here for a reason. That if we changed anything, who knows? I probably wouldn't be here or something.
So true.
We're the giggle guys, not the cry guys.
The giggle guys. That's both of your answers were excellent.
What about you?
I don't know. Now you've really kind of.
Didn't ask, cry about it, stay mad, get real, elbowed, seed cope.
What was that?
It's not like Ryan. Don't know, don't care, don't want to know.
I liked it.
I didn't read it anyway.
Yeah, fuck it.
I want to have some more.
No, really, answer it now. Now
Yeah.
I would like to know.
Well, I think I 100%. I would, if we're talking about if I changed an event or something like that, the butterfly effect is a very real thing. You know, say I don't have a knee injury, but say I had a knee injury like 10 years ago, and I hit my head playing basketball, and now I get concussions, or migraines, and they suck. If I change that, maybe the circumstances change, and now I don't have a low one, right? So I probably would say if I could, without any repercussions of changing, it'd be like that head injury, you know, that concussion. But I think Brendan's answer is probably the correct answer.
That's right.
I like my answer too.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
When I get tired, I
Oh,
yawn.
yeah,
And then the eyes water.
I start crying when I get tired. I get my eyes just start
I
leaking.
think he
I could
started
probably-
thinking about that knee injury, and he's like, "Oh man,
I could pull out a tear right now.
had the-
You ready, Pascal?
I had the makings
Here
of
it
the
comes.
get the close up."
Here it comes. There it is, right here. Tear.
Okay, well that was great. Then you know, I don't know what our
We're over an hour, so
oh
turns
we're
out-
over an hour. Oh my goodness.
It's once again.
Save the questions then for next time. And I'm sorry we weren't able to get to talk about
SNL 50th year.
the
Oh,
the
that's
Beatles getting
Yeah.
getting
Some
together.
big topics about
Should
that.
be pretty
but
exciting, actually.
And then we
So-
didn't talk about Hawk Tua again, and then we didn't talk
Katie
about
Welch, that's her name. Yeah.
so next time
Next time. Yep.
the Google guys.
Anyway, we'll let you play out with pharmacy.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little bell to get notified whenever we post a video.